What is up, guys? Galley Plays here today, and I am excited because I am going to be telling you exactly what map to play. Now, you might be asking yourself, how does Galley know exactly the map I need to play? Well, I'm going to talk to you about it, okay? I'm going to give you a very detailed way of figuring out the map that you need to play so that you can pick the exact map. All right, Perimeter, Dire Marsh, Outpost, and Cryo Archive. Those are the four maps, okay? There's no doubt about it. Those are the four maps. Now, within each of these, there's additional modes. Right now, the Perimeter has normal, and it has sponsored survival. Okay, sponsored survival is only going to be around a few more days. We're going to see what sponsored mode comes next, but these are specifically an experimental queue, and so they just stick around for a little bit. Typically, you got to get them while they're here. Dire Marsh. It has day mode and it has night mode. Completely different. I would consider these two different maps. Outpost and Cryo Archive are the other two maps. Now, ranked rotates through each maps. I'm not going to talk too much about ranked because if I feel like if you're playing ranked, you know what you're playing. It's going to be that map because that's what ranked is for that week. Okay. Now, to figure out what map you need to play, you need to figure out what you want. What do you want out of this game? What is next? Okay. Do you need credits? Are you trying to rep grind? Do you need gold salvage, right? And what kind of purple salvage do you need? Those kind of questions you need to ask yourself. So if I was trying to get my SIAC upgrade here, specifically I'm looking at neural installations and predictive frameworks. Well, look, I can mouse over this and I can see the sources. So if it's telling me I get this on perimeter, north relay and hauler, I get this on outpost, flight control, dormitories, I can get this in cryo, I can get this in lockdown zones. Okay, so immediately you can mouse over what you need for these and figure that out. Okay. Predictive frameworks, several perimeter stations. Now look, I'm not going to be running Dire Marsh. I'm not going to be running Outpost looking for predictive frameworks, okay? Yes, they can occasionally spawn on Outpost in the red room, something like that. But I'm looking at this here and I'm saying, okay, look, this says they should be on perimeter or cryo. So I'm going to run perimeter or cryo, okay? Or I'm going to be upgrading my factions and just getting them that way. I have a whole video on how to grind purple salvage, so I'm not going to go into that too much. But you can look at your different salvage and use that to figure out what you need. I get a ton of enzyme replicators when I go to Outpost. Okay, look at this. Orientation, pinwheel base, and processing can all have these, especially pinwheel. Pinwheel, it says, oh, that's just one location here. No, the drop rate in pinwheel is much higher than in orientation and processing. And so that's an important one. Okay, so pinwheel, if I'm going for enzyme replicators, I'm in pinwheel. Why do I want those? Well, NewCal, I can go here every day and buy a purple shield for 2 of these. So it's nice for me to have a bunch of enzyme replicators in stock. So boom, I can buy a purple shield every day. Even if I'm not playing that day, hop on, buy a purple shield, buy all my stuff. You know, I like to buy Panacea kits every day. I like to buy self-revives every day. All this free stuff, I'm going to go through later and claim, okay? Every single day. Usually sell it, get the credits, okay? If I'm credit grinding, there's a few good options here. First off, while it's available, credit grinding in perimeter sponsored is actually pretty good. Because guess what? You're going in with nothing, okay? And everything you pick up is going to have value, right? Because you started with a free kit. You can hit the hacks. I think they call them safes, and you have like a 10% chance that there's going to be a key in there. You can get a blue key. You can hit those rooms. You can just run around the map, picking up valuables, picking up salvage. So you're going to hit sponsored survival if initially you don't have your Cradle maxed. The biomass, the unstable diodes that you can get from sponsored survival, incredible. Okay, 100 each. So if you have a stack at 100 biomass, which you can get in 1 to 2 runs, that's 10k Cradle XP easy. Okay, so you should be doing that. If you're liking this video, please subscribe. I appreciate you. That's perimeter. Perimeter is really for newer players, okay? It's a pretty open map, longer sight lines, sure, but it's for newer players. Dire Marsh, then, I like to run night anytime it's up. I'll be honest, anytime Night Marsh is up, that's when I'm running. Get over the fact that it's a little scary, and I think you really like this map. Okay, I go up into Dire Marsh night, and I go do that upper complex run. I get so much of this salvage. I have 36 Terrax seeds there, plus another stack of 50 sitting here. That's because I open up thing up there, and literally one of the stronghold boxes up there can have 30 blue salvage. Actually, has 30 blue salvage in it every time, and that's between set night rods, that's between Terrax seeds, that's between neurochem packs and whatnot. Okay, why is it nice to have all those handy? Because look at this, okay? 2 neurochem packs for a Panacea kit. Sure, because guess what? I have 50 of these things, so why not spend them? Okay, everything's based on barters now, so it depends what you're looking for. Now, where did I get all these neurochem packs? Because if you look I get Terrax seeds, I get all this stuff up in upper complex, it spawns easy. And that's because if I'm looking here, the only map out of the main three, which is perimeter, dire, and outpost, I'm not getting these on outpost. I'm not getting these on perimeter. Okay. If I look here, I can get them in dire and I can get them in perimeter. I do find them in overflow occasionally, but dire is the main place. So I'm going to find these on dire. Also, you're doing loot rooms. Like essentially, if you're hitting those towers when you're doing Night Marsh, every single one of those caches you hit can have a bunch of blue salvage in them. Okay, so you can get all this easy. Pinwheel is where I'm getting my neurochem packs. They're everywhere up in Pinwheel. Durachem packs, they're everywhere up in Pinwheel. All right, so enzyme replicators, I'm definitely getting up there. Violent seeds, I'm getting from Dire Marsh. Okay, gold salvage. You should do upper complex. Upper complex is on Night Marsh. Okay, you need this observation key. You should absolutely be doing that. Okay, I have like a 75% chance of gold salvage when I get to last room. So if you're needing salvage, you're doing that. What else? Anomaly is also on Dire Marsh. So whether it's night or day, you can do the anomaly event. 20% chance at 20% chance at gold salvage, 100% chance at purple salvage, and you get 4 every time. Anyone who's on your team when you pick up this thing gets that salvage. So it's super good. Let's talk PvP for a second. Look, if you love PvP, Outpost is an amazing map. Outpost is a phenomenal map because there's 4 teams, right? You can run around the map, you can go in with a free kit, or you can go in with an actual kit. If you kill those other 3 teams, you do some solid PvP. Again, it's a small map, you hear people fighting, you're running right at it. If you clear everybody, then you can get the green keys, you can get the red keys, right? So you're loading in, you're trying to get the red keys, but while you're doing that, you're looking out for teams, you're killing teams. You kill 3 teams, you get the 3 red keys, you get 2 green keys, and you head straight up to Pinwheel. Guess what? You have killed all the other squads. So the only concern now is random rooks. And if you got a squad of 3, you can always beat the rooks as long as you're not like super spread and taking these fights for granted, right? It's 1 rook. So you got this. And of course, now there could be several rooks. There could be an army of rooks. I see that online. I don't ever run across that. Okay. It's just rooks here, rooks there. Okay. So if you love PvP, you should run Outpost. If you're looking to get better at PvP, you should run Outpost. If you feel like you're to the point where you're starting to feel good about PvP and you want really solid return on investment, that is Cryo. That's when you get to Cryo level. Cryo, you don't have to do with PvP, but man, it sure is fun to PvP in Cryo because everyone's bringing in good loot. Everybody that you run into is probably going to have, every other squad's probably going to have a Mizraya, to be honest. So you can loot off their bodies. You can get solid loot there. Okay, so PvP, those are good. If you like sniping, I love Dire Marsh. Dire Marsh is really nice. Dire Marsh Day is really nice for sniping. But Outpost, definitely the map you should run to if you love PvP. You know, it's an easy route. Kill everybody. Worst case, you die, you run back in, kill a few teams, get up, and then get your loot up in Pinwheel. Okay, that's my recommendation. If you are grinding contracts out, you are getting these Syac accommodations. So anything you're doing, I just want to say real quick, do that, and then you could do things like this. Look, there's 5 outlands. I could use these and I could snipe with them, right? Or I could just buy them for whatever 10 credits and sell them 1.2k, 1.2k, 1.2k. Depends what you want to do, but that's free credits there. And these stacks are easy to come by right now. Just finish contracts and these pay out handsomely. Okay, especially if you're in trios, because everyone completing contracts, you're getting these every time. So no matter what map you're playing, you should be doing that. All right. For keys, upper complex, because there's a guaranteed key there every time, but actually better for that is Outpost. Red room and Outpost, guaranteed 1 purple key. Same thing as upper complex, guaranteed a purple key, and chances at gold keys in both of them, even red keys. And so easy to get keys there, especially cryo keys, guaranteed a cryo key. Attachments, you're going to find in all of these places. Make sure you pick up attachments, and if you find the attachments that you really like, hit this little track button. That way, as soon as they pop up in a bag, boom, they're catching your eye and you know which ones to prioritize. So read through there. You're trying to get range, you're trying to get things that like help your mag if it's a gun that has a really small mag, things that help your recoil if it's a gun that bounces around a lot, things that help your aim assist are generally good as well. Gold mods? Honestly, I think Pinwheel is top for these. I've gotten a lot of those from Pinwheel. Other option is through Traxxas. Once you do upper complex and start getting some of these, then you can go here. Every day they sell a rotating mod and you can buy it with synapse cubes. So it's nice to have a few synapse cubes on hand because whatever the mod is, you can buy 2 of these. For example, me, when the Mizraya came around, I bought 2 of those auto Mizrayas. So super nice. What else? Let's just going through my vault here, trying to see if there's anything I'm missing. If you need unstable gel, okay, so that's the next thing. Go to your factions. For me, I know I'm trying to get up Arachne. Why? Specifically for this mod here. Parting Gift. Defeating a hostile with a melee or knife attack restores a small amount of health or shields. Okay, now you might be reading that like, okay, Galley, okay. Think about this. You're in Cryo, and you're just meleeing a bunch of bots, okay? And you're getting chip damage, but you don't have a triage on your team. Now, every time you're meleeing, okay, and defeating a hostile, you're getting a small amount of health or shields back. Health or shields, that's big. Pair that with this, your knife attacks, not even kills, attacks restore a small amount of health, okay? So I'm getting health back every time I hit with my knife. I'm getting health and shields back every time I finish that. You just put on that mod, and I'm telling you, it makes a world of difference. Okay, so that's an important one to buy. I'm trying to upgrade that right now. I got a lot of these already to VIP 15. My next focus is Arachne, which is why I got a contract on for that. And specifically these upgrades, that's the one I want. Because right now I can buy them and they're blue. I want to get that to purple. I want to see what the gold looks like. So anyway, that's what I'm focusing on, Parting Gift. And again, you can mix these with other things. Toxin injectors. Your knife heavy attacks apply toxin. I don't know if I'd run that or not. But there's a few of these that if you put them back together, you know, it's focusing on melee, you can have a really nice melee build, okay? And then if you're in a gunfight, like an event or something, then you actually could just knife and get people down. You don't necessarily have to have a Mizraya. Now, of course, Mizraya is going to help, but how do you beat a Mizraya up close if you don't have a Mizraya? Well, you do knife fights. So anyhow, that's that. Weapons. If you need weapons, depends what you need. But Mizrayas, there's no better place to find Mizrayas than Outpost and Cryo Archive. One, because Cryo spawns a bunch of them, so you can find them in arms lockers. You can find them up in the Panopticon. But Outposts has these a lot too, because there's a lot of arms lockers up in Pinwheel on Outpost, and so I'd recommend hitting up that as well. Compiler and this biotoxic disinjector, those have to be found on Cryo. I think that's mostly everything I wanted to cover quickly in my vault. I hope that's helpful on what map to play. Generally speaking, if I had to go back to the list, Perimeter is kind of your early events. You don't usually go back to Perimeter unless you have to, unless you need the upgrades. Dire Marsh Day is not as fun as Dire Marsh Night to me. Because it doesn't have as much rewards. It doesn't have upper complex. But if you need stuff like, if I'm going through here, I needed some of that gel, the unstable gel. I needed a lot of it. And so like Dire Marsh, go into bio. That's a really good spot. Right now, actually, I'm needing so many drone nodes. And drone nodes are absolutely, look, they're absolutely an Outpost thing. So again, I'm really reading into these tooltips. Notice, let me just go through the sources here because some people don't fully understand this. So it says sources and it says Outpost. It's going to give locations there. So orientation, pinwheel base, and processing. All of these locations, you can randomly find them sitting around, whether it's on shelves or it's in boxes or whatnot. And then in Cryo you can go steerage. Of course, on Cryo you're probably not wanting to farm green salvage, so I'll just state that here. But then tool cart and scan drones. That means any scan drone, it doesn't matter the location. Any tool cart, it doesn't matter the location, also has a chance to drop these. Okay, so you can pick them up. Anyway, I need a ton of these, so clearly, based on my guide, that means I should be running a bunch of Outpost, and that's what I'm going to do next. Because look, I have 22, I need 23 for that, so that's all those. Now I need 32 for that one. I have so much of this blue salvage, and clearly the green stuff is a hard stuff to go by. So anyway, oh look, and some of that drone resin. So I look at the upgrades I actually want to buy, and I see what that salvage is, and I let that kind of dictate the map that I'm going to go to next. If you're needing credits, again, you should do that. Loot rooms are the best thing to get credits. People are asking me, how do you get credits the easiest? Loot rooms are definitely the easiest. You can go to a loot room, you can leave with so many valuables, okay? Those keys, you can get them by killing wardens. You can find them in safes. You can find them in those hack boxes, whatnot. You can find them off other runners. That's the easiest way. But another thing is just think about how much money you're actually spending, okay? How much are you spending on ammo when you buy? How much are you spending on heals if you actually are like buy, right? So If you're running a triage, that's a good way to save money. You don't need as many heals. If you're going in with free kits, that's a good way to save money because they come with a lot of heals and whatnot. And so you're able to save some money because if you die, you don't lose anything. And if you win everything because you came in with nothing. So everything's positive. So those are some things. Other ways to get money, you're just collecting this free stuff every day, and you can immediately turn around and sell it. This is Capstone 1. If you haven't done this for every single one of your factions, you should. But you just go in here, you go to vault, and then you could just like boom, boom, boom. I could just sell what I want, what I don't want, right? And make some cash there. If I would have done this for everything, usually you get like 3 to 6k a day depending on what guns are in there. So highly recommend that to you. Anyway, I hope this is helpful. Also certain guns, BR33s, you usually find more on like Dire Marsh in those cabinets. Like I said, Mizraya. So if you're looking for a specific gun, you can look that up. If you want a Strider, you can find that on Outpost and Airfield and the gun lockers. Typically, if the weapon's not available in the armory, it usually has a map or a certain location that they want to spawn. Anyway, if this video is helpful, please subscribe. I'm going to keep these coming. Let me know what you want the next video to be about. Let me know what map you are playing the most. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Peace.